morning. We're getting jiggy with it here in West Plains this morning. This is your call. My name is Mike Manchin. And we're here for another exciting Saturday morning. It is bright, so I hope you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We've got a couple of good guests this morning. We're going to have Wes Ellison on this morning. He's a Republican candidate that's running for the Texas County Sheriff's Office. This guy's got a pretty exciting background. He has been in office for most of his life. It looks like he's been in law enforcement. So, in fact, he served 12 years under Sheriff Joe Arpaio out in Maricopa County. So it would be kind of interesting to hear his take on the immigration issues. While that's not pertinent, of course, to Texas County, it'd be kind of interesting to hear that position in terms of the overall position. I believe he's on. Wes?
Hey, good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good.
That's great. Hey, I'm glad you called in. Thank you very much.
You bet.
We're happy to have you on the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Listen, I was reading your bio here, and you've got a pretty interesting background. You're running for, just so that the audience knows what's going on here, you are running for the Texas County Sheriff. You're the Republican candidate. And based on your bio here, you've got 28 years in law enforcement experience. You're a retired sergeant from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office for 25 years, and 12 of that was under Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
That's correct.
That's kind of a pretty interesting historical background there.
Yeah, I kind of grew up in law enforcement, you'd say.
I guess so. You've got 7 months under the Winona Police Department and 3 years in Willow Springs as a canine handler, which is where you're currently there, right?
Right.
Okay. And you are also a member of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. That's
correct.
Outstanding. By the way, I fully support that organization. I think the sheriff in any given county is probably the most important law enforcement officer in a county or in the state, actually.
It is, Mike, and that's what the CSPOA, the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, is trying to do, is to educate, the sheriffs and peace officers on what their powers and duties are, and they all take an oath of office, and basically, a lot of times that oath goes, it's just words, and it's not anything taken serious by officers or sheriffs or any elected official.
Right.
And it's an oath that needs to be adhered to, and it's something you got to live by. You got to enforce your oath and stand by it.
I hear you there. Well, I think a lot of sheriffs just aren't aware of how much power they actually wield in a county.
Yeah, that's correct.
Especially related to the federal side, and how they have the ability and the power to be able to influence or make effective decisions about what goes on in their own county. Before we get too far, let me give out your website, because and I don't know if you listen to the show all the time or not, but one of the things that we advocate here is that people get educated and then be informed enough to be able to make proper and appropriate decisions.
That's
and
right.
They can do that by hearing you, but they can also find out a lot more that you can't possibly explain to them by reading. And so, the website, folks, is ellisonforsheriff.com. And Ellison is spelled E like Echo, Llison for sheriff, and it's FOR, not the number 4. So it's ellisonforsheriff.com. And I encourage that you immediately get over there, educate yourself during the period that Wes is going to be on with us, and call in here and ask any questions that you have regarding his candidacy and what he's planning on doing in Texas County. Those of you who are out there, this is the guy who's running for office to be the sheriff in your community. So get on the web, do a little bit of homework, and if you cannot do that, then by all means you can certainly you can communicate with him by email as well. Is your Wes? Is your email address on the website?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Can I give out your contact phone number?
You bet.
Okay. It's area code 417-252-1752. Again, that's 417-252-1752. And so if you don't have web access, pick up the phone, although don't do it right now because he's on the show with us for the next hour. So give the guy a break. Okay, Wes, enough of my blather. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell me why you're running. I'm very interested, by the way, in your background, but okay. I also want to know what's happening locally that's driving you to say, I'm the right guy for the job. What's happening up in your community? What's happening there that you think you can make changes about? Tell us why you're the right guy.
Okay. Well, Texas County, it's the largest county in Missouri, and they've got 6 deputies for coverage. And the office really needs to be restructured to where there's more coverage during busy times of the day. There's more patrols out in the area. And my understanding is they kind of stay around the Houston area unless they're called out. And they need to be more proactive in law enforcement, or in being out and patrolling and deterring crimes. Currently, I hear it so much when I'm out campaigning that people call about thefts or crimes or whatever, they never get contacted again.
Right.
I want to be able to have a deputy personally contact them. When I was a deputy, I responded to all the calls. I made contact with people, and I think it's important to make that contact with people. And, I mean, while I was out patrolling, I would just pull in and talk to people, and it's just amazing how much you find out just visiting with people. And I think that a lot can be done. Right now, Texas County doesn't seek grants for any manpower, equipment, or vehicles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wealth of grants out there. Some of them you don't want, but there's a ton of grants out there through the state.
Well, the ones that come with strings attached to the problem.
No, yeah, non-conditional grants.
Yeah.
The inmates could be out working. I'd like to implement an inmate work program.
Mm-hmm. I've talked last week. We had a guest on, and we talked exactly about that. He was running for county commissioner in the Southern District, and one of the things I say is, well, why are we paying people at commercial rates, right, and government rate, because they generally earn more than minimum wage, and we're paying these people to do things that we've got a bunch of guys sitting in prison for.
Exactly.
Or in county jail for. Most of these guys are in there for low-level crime. They're not killers and rapists and axe murderers. At least the vast majority of them. And while I don't advocate letting those guys out to do anything, what I am suggesting is that when you got a kid in there who's got caught with 3 joints in his sock or something, let him go out there and paint guardrails.